Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to a new video. I know, it's crazy, right? It's been like a day since I uploaded my last one. This is so unlike me. Today I have an interesting video for those of you who have followed me due to my Twitch related videos, because today is an interview with an up-and-coming Twitch streamer by the name of GOTHIXMODEL. I'm gonna stick a link in the description and I will edit a fancy little thing here. Probably. Might sarcastically edit it somewhere other than my hands are going right now. I'm talking to her because she is a very unique streamer. She isn't like a streamer I've seen before. And I think that by doing like a case study like this, maybe you guys can get some advice and some motivation, because she is exploding right now and she deserves to. I have never been so surprised by a stream every single time I go in. Every time I visit her stream, I see something new, which is incredible. And the effort and stuff it must take is insane. So if you enjoy the video, please drop a like at the end. I don't want you to drop a like now because you don't know, it could be terrible. If you watch some of it and you gain something, drop a like. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, please subscribe, because I'm going to be doing this regularly, maybe once a week. Depends on how often I can find somebody who stands out to me in a way that I haven't seen before. So without further ado, I'm gonna cut to our conversation. This video is gonna be pretty long in comparison to other videos on my channel. So I hope that through her ridiculous personality and my interesting thought-provoking questions, I can hold your interest for at least a little while. Let's go.
Now I know you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I think I'm ready to become a full-time Twitch streamer. My fan base has grown so much.
All right, hold up. When you say that, you use the term loosely. How many followers and how many viewers does this channel have? So all you want to do is this thing called Twitch streaming, eh? I got this tall ass Smurf that's on Twitch right now. There's nothing wrong with your hair. I can just say like it's blue like a Smurf, but like your skin's not blue, so that hardly makes sense.
Giles, what are you doing down there? Giles, please come with me.
All right, so let's start by getting to know you a little bit more, which could be dangerous. Tell us what you do for a living and where you're from and what made you start streaming.
So, I'm from Rhode Island. I do customer service, which is a horrendous job to have.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's you know, getting yelled at every day, and I've been doing like this job field for like 12 years. So
It's a long time to get abused.
Yes, it's a long time to get abused. Okay, and so people always ask me when they come into my stream, they're like, how can you maintain such a cheerful face and be happy? It's like, well, you try getting yelled at for 8 hours a day and you tell me if like you'd rather be smiling or depressed when you get home. Like, I am happy to be home.
Good. I guess that's one way to look at it. Like, some people would be drained by that, but you like feed off it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, yes, yell at me so I can go home and stream good.
I like it. That's some sort of weird, like, sadistic motivation you've got there, man. All right, so when did you start streaming? How long have you been doing it for?
Yeah, totally. So I've been streaming for a year as of, like, this week. And I started streaming because I was at a previous customer service job that I also hated, and I wanted to get out of that field, and so I started applying for other companies, and every interview I went on, I just kept getting like, no, you're great, but you're not a good fit. And I started to think that it was because of like my personality. So I had a friend at the time, and she was telling me that, I should try to look into Twitch streaming, and I was like, nobody, what the fuck is this? Like, nobody wants to watch me. So like, she actually donated my first piece of equipment, which is my Blue Snowball microphone. And
hey,
so,
me too. I got that.
Yeah, see, I love that thing. So like, and then it's kind of all history from there. Like, going into it, I was like, I'm not gonna like get rich overnight. I understand it's totally a long process, but I figured, at the time I was like, well, let me start now, build up my community, and who knows, someday in the future I can work for myself instead of feeling like shit when every other company rejects me and they don't want to work with me.
Okay, yeah. I mean, from what I've seen so far, your personality is so suited to it, and I think that's why you're from my point of view, you're having a really good time right now. Like, you're growing quite quickly, and I think that is 100% because of who you are. So your friend was like on the ball with that, like recommending this to you for sure.
Yeah, it was so like random because like I've been told like in real life, I've been told by people that I'm introduced to that I'm a little bit too much or I'm a little weird. So I'm like,
no.
I'm thinking like on a scale of like, you know, potentially hundreds of people watching me someday, does anybody really want to be exposed to my weirdness? So I was very reluctant at first.
That's awesome. I love that. Do you have any like inspirations? Like when you first started, did you look at other streamers to find out what Twitch was, and then were you inspired by anybody, or are you just 100% doing your own thing and seeing what happens?
So this is like a two-part answer. So as far as like streaming goes, I did research, you know, popular girl streamers or girl gamers, and you know, when I first started streaming, I mean, I dress up during my streams now, but when I first started, legitimately, like, I was trying to portray this, like, girly girl, or kind of, like, you know, a seductive girl, if you will, because I thought that's how you get views. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. And so, that, I didn't get any viewers with that. Like, it was trash. So I started to, like, you know, become myself a little bit more as I started like progressing. And then when I mentioned that I have a second part to this is like my inspiration as far as like my sense of humor overall, I think really stems from Jim Carrey, because I always used to watch him as a child.
He is my idol. I idolize Jim Carrey. I love the guy. I've seen absolutely everything.
Yeah, he is.
I can see that in you as well.
Yeah, so like sometimes like when I'm streaming, I'll break into dances and like I'll do like a few of like his Ace Ventura moves, and so like you know, with me letting my guard down and you know trying to stream more like how I want to, it kind of just like basically I became Jim Carrey on my stream is what I'm trying to say.
I love that. What do you think of the new Jim Carrey? You know, the kind of strange Jim Carrey.
I haven't really seen much of the new Jim Carrey. Maybe that's why.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you seen, he turned up to the New York Fashion Week. Like, he wasn't invited, he wasn't supposed to go, and he just turned up, and there was an interview like, oh my god, it's Jim Carrey, what are you doing here? And he was just like, well, I was trying to think of the most pointless thing in the world to go to, so here I am.
Amazing. Okay, you know what? I still love him.
I love him so much. He's super strange now, but like in a really good way.
Yeah,
I love the guy so much.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. But yeah, I can definitely see that. And just going back to what you said about when you were looking at female streamers and stuff, and then you were trying to be them. Do you think that the success you've had is because you're being like true to yourself now? You think that's most important?
Yeah, totally. And the other thing is like the Twitch platform itself, there's literally like millions of people on this platform, and for me to just advertise myself as like, you know, quote unquote the pretty girl, there's so many pretty girls, like pretty girls that's nothing special, like they're everywhere. So you come into my stream, I'm wearing all this bizarre makeup, I'm singing, I'm dancing, I'm doing all these close-up shots of my face, like that is strange and it's not normal, to the point that people are curious, like what is wrong with this girl?
It's great. That's actually took me to my next question pretty well, actually. Your pre-stream rituals. Do you do anything to get into like the zone, into the mindset? Like some people I know like dance around the room or listen to music, like and get them like pumped up. And your makeup as well. How long does that take?
Yeah, totally. So, so the makeup part. So I have my full-time job, and so from the time I leave work to the time I get home, I have about 2 hours before I go live. So any of the makeup I do, I've practiced to the point that I can do it within 30 minutes or less.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't do makeup at all, just because I just don't have time. So, so that's the makeup part. And then, like, with my pre-stream ritual, it usually involves me dancing. Like, I have one of those like Amazon Alexas. Like, I'll just tell her like play some random music, you know, and she starts busting out like Beyonce or some shit. And so like I'll literally just like, my neighbors are probably like terrified because like they'll just see like my bright lights turn on in the living room and I'm blasting all this weird ratchet music. And like, what the hell's going on up there? It's me just like getting pumped. So like when I post my going live videos and I'm usually singing or dancing, like that is the aftermath because I'm so ready.
I love that. That's so good. Like, I've just got a great image of you just on your own in your living room dancing to nothing. It's great.
That's literally what I do. Oh my god.
But like, think about all the people around the world that are doing that, and it's become normal to be fucking bizarre. I like, I love it as well. It's actually the best thing about the world right now, I think. Let's go into your actual stream, right? And from the times that I've watched you, which is quite a lot. I feel like you often get distracted from the gameplay to interact with your audience, especially like when you get a sub or a follow or a donation or a raid or whatever. You're ridiculous. Like, and like, do you think that it matters whether you focus on gameplay versus like audience interaction? Like, or would you say that's what makes you different?
I think that's what makes me different, and if I consider myself a very new streamer, so for me to build my community and only focus on gameplay or primarily focus on gameplay, I honestly think that's a little bit detrimental to growth. So my stream, I've kind of made it so like 70% of it is about me. Like, I'm the focus of the stream. I'm either talking with people, doing something ridiculous in some weird doctor's office scene or something like that, and then like I'll be playing the game for the rest of that time. So usually, for example, if I'm like playing Dead by Daylight, I'll play a match or two and then I'll stop for like 30 minutes, you know, I'll talk with everybody. And I think that my viewers really appreciate how personable I am, because if I just sit there and play a game, and this is another reason why I kind of stay away from like fast-paced games. Like when I first started, I used to play Overwatch, and that like games like that are so like it
takes you away.
It takes you away. It needs your undivided attention. So if somebody asks you a question, and let's say I'm playing a competitive match in Overwatch, I'm not going to get to that question right away. So, and I think a problem that I see a lot with like streamers that are trying to grow is that they fail to realize that you're an entertainer. And so that I totally just freaking had a brain fart. Oh my god.
It's fine, we can edit it. It's fine. It's fine.
So yeah, what they fail to realize is that they're an entertainer. So when people come in there and you just kind of have the stone face, or you know, you get a follow and you're just like, thanks, and there's no follow-up to that. It's just very dry. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like the way I choose to look at it, I don't stream as much as I should now, but the way I see to look at it is I'm not speaking English right now. The way I choose to look at it, sentences that make sense, is that like if someone's following me, then I have had an impact on their life, and it's important to me to make an effort to get to know that person, you know, or to make them feel like I know them.
Right. Exactly.
And that's like, and I feel like a lot of small streamers or like streamers in general just don't care. You know, they get caught up in these goals they're trying to achieve, and everybody's just a number to them.
Exactly. Yeah. And like even last night when I was streaming, I was wearing this like Pennywise makeup. I don't know if you're familiar with like the clown.
I am.
Okay. So I every now and then I do that makeup, and I was out of curiosity. I asked my chat. I asked them like, are any of you guys afraid of clowns? Because I'm curious, because I want to take this into consideration if I am trying to grow my community. And so a lot of them said, yeah, I am terrified of clowns, but honestly, I usually just, you know, turn my phone down and just listen to your stream as opposed to watching it. Or even sometimes people will say, you know, I don't like horror games, but I'll try my best to hang out with you. So it's like, so people will return to your stream if you have something more to offer them than just gameplay. So,
exactly.
Yeah, so I think that people should try to put a little bit more effort into appreciating their viewers and stuff like that. And I think that would help a little bit more than just like, you know, chicken dinner. I don't know what the hell PUBG terminology is. Chicken dinner. What?
For sure though. Like the way I talked about it in a previous video of mine, where I said there's like 3 different types of viewer, right? Yeah. There's the worst kind, which is like a giveaway viewer. They just turn up for a giveaway and then they like follow you and just fuck off and they never come back. That's like the worst kind, right? And they're really hard to convert into a better kind. The second type is like a gameplay follower. So they have found you because of a game you're playing, and they will only watch you when you play that one game, right? And they can be converted into the third and best type, I think, which is like the personality follower, who finds you for whatever reason and just like without sounding like a weirdo, but like falls in love with your personality, and you become their favorite streamer, and they will watch you whenever, and they are like the most valuable. And people need to try to like set that as a goal, right? To make that connection with people, to make them feel like they're part of your friend group, as part of your community, and that they're appreciated, so that they will come back like whenever.
Exactly. No,
and that's what you were just describing, right?
Exactly. And I've had some of those first giveaway followers, and so like, and at the time I was like, oh, followers are followers, but I quickly learned, what viewers are there for me, and which ones are there for just like personal gain, or just like instant, whatever, like, I'm gonna take this and never see you again, bye. So
see you later.
See you later.
Oh yeah, that's about like consistency as well, right? Because if I follow you because I like your personality, and then the next time I come you aren't the same, I'm gonna be like, oh, like, this isn't who I thought I followed, right? And I think that's where it's really important to be yourself, which is what we talked about earlier. Because if you're trying to be someone that you're not, then it's really hard to keep that up. And people are disappointed when they see you one day. Like, if I was trying to be like you, like, maybe I could do it like once, right? and then the next time, if anyone followed me during that period, they came and they're like, well, this guy is not who I followed. So it's not really a question, I'm just talking.
No, but I mean, you're totally right, and that was the thing. Like, it's very hard to put up an act if it doesn't come natural. There is no consistency with that, and like, to be honest, early on, now I'm kind of in a groove. Like, I hardly ever take a day off from my stream schedule, but before, as I was trying to loosen up a bit, I would take days off because I wasn't as hype as I was, or I was feeling kind of down. And even that, like, I would rather do that because they were, early on, I would still stream even if I wasn't feeling okay, and it would be totally visible on stream that, like, I wasn't talking, I wasn't really interacting. So, like, even stuff like that. But, like, yeah, if you're trying to be somebody that you're not, it's going to be way harder to remain consistent, and people are going to be like, what the hell's going on here? What's wrong with this girl?
Exactly. Yeah. Next thing, I want to talk about like marketing and how you've done it and networking and stuff like that. But before I ask you your opinion, I want to say what I think, because I think that I am a genius. I see like a streamer as like, if you put it in the real world, and this is where people fail, I think, and I think it's a really good like metaphor or whatever it is. You need to put yourself as like a store, right? In like a shopping center or a mall, like wherever you're from, different words. Like, and you're in this shopping center or mall full of identical shops, all offering the same thing. And all people do is like say, hey, I exist, come in my store. But they don't give people a reason to.
Yep.
So what do you think is the most important aspect of marketing? Like, how have you done it? Like, what efforts have you made? And networking as well. Like, how do you get yourself out there for more people to find you?
Yeah, like, so the bulk of my networking is primarily on Instagram and on Facebook. And I think that's something that's really worked for me is showcasing my personality. I'll hardly ever post like compilations or clips of my gameplay because like I'm just, my personality is where it's at. So but like some days, I'll take the time to edit, a few things in like Sony Vegas and upload a video file, and I really go above and beyond to showcase what my stream is about in as little time as possible. So I don't want somebody to be watching like a 10-minute video or anything like that. Like in 20 seconds, I want you to know what I'm about. And like this is like a big difference from like before when I used to market on social media. I would just kind of say like, hey, gonna go play some Overwatch competitive. Like, okay, who cares? Like, that doesn't say anything about me.
100%, yeah. And I feel like I feel the same, which is why I made that challenge in the Facebook group that you are like the only person who responded to that and made a trailer.
Yeah, I forgot that came from you.
It did come from me. How dare you forget about me? How dare you?
Well, damn.
Well, it's awkward now. Bye.
Bye.
So you would say that your brand is like yourself, right? Your personality, and that's it.
Yep, exactly. That's it. It's
awesome.
Me.
Awesome. I like it. Do you have any tips for people who are like aspiring to be a streamer, or like people who are a similar size to you or smaller, or maybe a little bit bigger, who have hit like a plateau effect where they just feel like they can't get any bigger? Because I see that a lot, right? And I feel like you've just grown and grown and grown, and your viewership increases every time I'm on Twitch. I'm like, what the fuck? She's got like 50 viewers right now. What is she doing?
Oh man. So, okay, so I guess it's weird giving advice to people that have been on Twitch longer than me, because sometimes...
Oh, it's fine. I do it all the time.
You know, like, 'cause in the back of my head, I feel like I'm not qualified to give such advice. But,
Yeah.
but, you know, in any case, even for new streamers, the advice that I could give is that a few things, you know, go into streaming with the understanding that, number one, nobody owes you anything. So, you know, don't assume that because you're posting on social media that people are still gonna stop by and hang out with you. You know,
Yeah.
if they don't like your content, then they're not gonna stay. And then that leads me to my next thing is, like, there's always room for improvement. So some people think that, you know, if I buy all this awesome equipment, if I'm playing this game, if I do this, you know, if somebody could dress up like me identically and still not have the same amount of viewers that I have. So there's always room for improvement. Even if you think that you're doing exactly what you need to do to stream, there's always something else that you could be doing. Like, even me, I'm still, like, asking questions, you know, researching, trying to find out how to improve my channel. And a lot of streamers that I see are kind of just content where they are, and then they question why they're not growing.
Exactly. That's an awesome answer. I like that a lot. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Future goals, where do you see yourself? Is this something you want to become like full-time? Do you want to be like, because I don't want to like be weird about it, but I honestly think that you could be like one of the biggest. I'm being serious, because you're so different and you're so energetic, and it's like infectious. I was literally laughing so much the other day when I was watching you, because I was watching you and I've watched you a few times, obviously, and like every time I watch you, I see something new. And it's like, where is she getting these ideas from? Like, every time you got a sub, you were like, obviously you have like a huge like effect that covers the whole screen, right? And then it was coming back to you, and you're like doing something weird with like a prop. It's like, what is she doing? I love this. Someone else subscribe so I can see this happen again. Like,
That's amazing. You literally just described my channel. That's usually the same reaction. Like, what am I watching right now?
Exactly.
As far as like what I want to do, ooh, Facebook just went off. Shut up, Facebook. Hold on a second. Let me turn this off. As far as like what I want to do is like, initially I didn't think I was gonna make partner at all. But now that I see how consistent my growth is, it's my goal. Like, it is in my line of sight, and I'm really trying to push for that. And I would love to do this full time, but I would like to have a healthy relationship with Twitch, because I have read some horror stories from Twitch partners that quit because they have this always be streaming mindset, and I'm totally not down for that. Like, I don't want to like drown my life on a computer all the time. If I did full-time streaming, I would do 8 hours and then I'd leave, just like a regular job.
Yeah.
So
I feel like streaming too much can be detrimental to your channel as well, right? Because it's really hard to keep up. Like, I feel like when you stream, you have to be on. You have to be your best self, with whatever self that is. If you're like a gameplay streamer, you have to be playing like on the ball with really good gameplay. If you're personality-wise like yourself, you have to be on. And if you're going to try and stream for like 12 hours, that's super exhausting. Like, I feel like you'd be better off streaming for like half that time, and being 100% than streaming longer and having people get bored of you.
Yeah, totally. And it's funny because I had a streamer reach out to me recently, and she had asked me, you know, for tips, because she says that on top of her full-time job, she also streams like 7 hours at night, and I'm like, how do you do that? And so
that's insane.
She was saying that she wasn't seeing any growth, and I recommended that she cut out some of those hours. Like, it's not necessary. Like, consistently every night I'll get at least like 20 followers, whereas some other streamers who stream for 12, 13 hours a day, they may get lucky and get like 20 followers during that time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think that I think if you cut down your stream time. You know, I would say maybe start at 3 times a week, which is what I did, and then I bumped it up to 4 times a week, and stream for like maybe 3 to 4 hours a day. Go 5, maybe I would say 5 the max, and then spend the rest of your time wisely networking, promoting, being in other people's streams, and building, you know, authentic connections with people. Don't be fake. Don't try to like, you know, try to introduce yourself to people thinking that they're gonna offer you something. Be genuine with people who that you know, you enjoy their work, you want to support them, because I get that a lot in my stream. I'll get a lot of people that support my work, and I can tell when they're always in my channel, and I'll, you know, if I'm really appreciative of them, I'll totally like send some love back to them. I've rated so many of my viewers, it's insane. So yeah, like, just build genuine connections, but I wouldn't put too much emphasis on streaming for long hours a day, because I think I'm a good example of that really isn't necessary, and you can't maintain quality streaming that long. Like, I could never do what I do for like 8 hours straight. Like, I would have to have some weird balance.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You hit the nail on the head, I think. I've had you for like 40 minutes of your lunch break. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
So let's wrap this up. Do you want to plug yourself? What days you stream and stuff like that? What games you play?
Yes, I would very much. So.
Oh yes, go ahead, my dear.
Right, yeah. Let me just do this. You be silent, Floptard.
Okay, I'm very sorry.
This is my job right here. Thank you, Floptard, for having me on your show. My name is Vanessa. You can find me at GOTHIXMODEL. I know you're gonna spell it wrong, so maybe Floptard will drop a link in the description somewhere. I stream Mondays through Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My stream is very interactive. If you want to drop by and say hello, I'll show you a good time. It's gonna be fun. That's all I got to say.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time. That's it. I'm gonna turn off my camera. Okay, so that was it. That was the end of the interview with GOTHIXMODEL. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you've taken something away. Like I said at the beginning, if you enjoyed it, if you watched to this point, then you are crazy. Thank you so much for watching such a long video. And if you enjoyed it, please drop a like. Maybe comment who you think I should talk to next. That's a good idea, actually. If you know anybody, any friends of yours who are streamers who are doing really well but are still relatively small, or who are very different, hit me up in the comments with their link and I'll go check them out. I'm looking for more people to interview and more people to help, so that would be really, really great. And like I said again at the beginning, if you enjoyed it, please subscribe, because I'm going to be making more and more of these types of videos in the future. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you guys. I love you. Peace out until the next time.
Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my fucking god, oh my god.